Ever feel like your chats with AI are just a little flat? You ask a question, you get a decent answer, but it's always kind of predictable, kind of generic. Well, what if I told you there's a way to go way, way deeper? Today, we're going to look past the basic instructions and start pulling some of the AI's hidden levers, using some pretty wild prompts to get truly creative and novel results. I think we've all been there, right? You're trying to use an AI for something important, and it gives you an answer that's so unhelpful, so off base, it's almost funny. This quote from a user on Hacker News just nails that feeling. That frustration of dealing with what feels like a glorified, spicy autocomplete. So, how do we get past that spicy autocomplete phase? Well, the first big leap is to stop treating the AI like a vending machine for answers. Instead, we need to start teaching it how to reason. We need to get it to show its work, to really explain its thinking. Okay, so let's dive into our first technique here. It's called chain of thought prompting, or COT for short. The idea is actually super simple, but it is incredibly powerful. You're not just asking for the final answer. You're telling the model, hey, walk me through this. Break down your logic step by step. This really exposes the how behind the what, and you end up with answers that are way more accurate. And check this out. Look how tiny the change is. On the left, you've got your standard prompt. The AI will probably just spit out the answer, 0. But on the right, all we did was add that one little phrase, let's think step by step. That's it. And that one little addition completely transforms the model's approach. Now it's forced to explain the rule, apply it, and then give the conclusion. The chance of it making a silly mistake just plummets. So once we've got the AI showing its work, we can take it to the next level. And this is really cool. What if we could use the AI not just to answer our questions, but to help us write better prompts to begin with? This is the whole idea behind something called metaprompting. The way to think about metaprompting is this. You're teaching the AI how to think about how to solve a problem. You're basically turning the AI into your co-pilot for prompt design. So instead of you having to be the genius who engineers the perfect prompt, you just guide the AI to build that prompt for you. It becomes a true partner in the whole process. And this lays it out perfectly. It's a really clear workflow. First, you just give it the big picture, your main goal. Then you ask the AI itself to write a super detailed prompt to get you there. And finally, you take that prompt, maybe you polish it up a little bit, and then you use it for the real task. You're literally using the AI's own knowledge to get better results from it. It's brilliant. I love this quote because it really shifts your perspective. We have to stop thinking about prompts as just simple instructions. A good prompt is more like a contract or a well-defined API between you and the model. It sets clear expectations, it defines the rules, and it helps guarantee you're going to get a high-quality response every time. All right, we've talked about making the AI more logical, and we've talked about making it a better collaborator. Now, we're going to get weird. We are about to dive into the really unconventional stuff, the techniques that actually take the strange, non-human quirks of AI and turn its biggest bugs into its most creative features. Let's just start with a number that should really make you lean in a little closer, 110%. According to research, that is the potential performance boost you can get from an AI just by adding a little bit of emotional encouragement to your prompt. No, seriously, you heard that right. So what is this sorcery? It's called emotion prompt. And it's this fascinating technique where you just tack on these short, emotionally charged phrases to your instructions. And it sounds crazy, right? But think about it. These models were trained on zettabytes of human text, our books, our conversations, our articles. They've learned the patterns connected to human motivation. So amazingly, the same psychological cues that get us to try harder can actually influence an LLM's performance too. And just look at these examples from the research. They aren't just random nice words. When you say, this is very important to my career, that taps into psychological ideas about social identity. Saying, you'd better be sure brings in impression management. Even a simple believe in your abilities, that's straight out of social cognitive theory. These are grounded in real psychology. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most mind-bending technique of all. We're going to take what is arguably the AI's most famous flaw, hallucination, and instead of trying to fix it, we're going to embrace it. We're going to control it and turn it into an engine for pure innovation. So this idea, controlled hallucination for ideation, or CHI, is all about flipping a problem on its head.
We know these models sometimes just make stuff up, right? Things that sound totally plausible but just aren't real. Well, instead of seeing that as a bug, we can use that exact tendency as a feature, a way to generate speculative what-if ideas that live right on the edge of what's possible.
And here's the playbook for how to do it. You start with your problem. Then, and this is key, you explicitly tell the AI to engage in controlled hallucination. Ask it for ideas that don't exist yet. But here are the most important guardrails, steps 4 and 5. You have to make it explain the theory behind why its fake idea might work, and you have to force it to label every single idea as speculative. That's how you separate creative brainstorming from dangerous misinformation. So let's zoom out. Where have we ended up? We've gone from treating AI like a simple calculator to realizing it can be a sophisticated partner, a partner in reasoning, a partner in designing instructions, and even a partner in some pretty wild, speculative creativity. So here it is. This is your new toolkit. You've got chain of thought to make the AI more logical. You've got meta prompting to turn it into your co-designer. You've got emotion prompt to give it a weird little psychological nudge. And you've got controlled hallucination to tap into its most creative, unexpected side. And if you take away one thing, let it be this. We have to stop thinking of a prompt as just a question. A prompt is the design of a process. A process for reasoning, for collaboration, and ultimately a process for discovery. It's how you unlock ideas you never would have stumbled upon on your own. And that kind of leaves us with this one last big question to chew on. We spend so much time and energy trying to fix the AI's imperfections, right? Its tendency to make things up, its weirdly human-like responses to emotion. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if those very flaws, once we learn how to harness them, aren't bugs at all, but are actually the source of its most powerful and unique creative abilities?